Hello, hope you are doing well. So in this video, I kind of wanted to dive a bit more deeper into DefCon or defensive contributions, right? We have like 5 games now, and I think I'm starting to kind of see this pattern like in the data and stuff. And it looks like this is maybe a bit stronger than maybe the fantasy FPL people have priced their players. It looks pretty strong, to be honest. So I just wanted to do a bit of a deeper dive today. And I think we could actually see a big change here, and that a lot of people will kind of strive towards getting in all of these DefCon players because so far this season this looks very strong. We can just look at some of the official statistics here. I guess it's down here, I guess. So if you look at just at the overall point score so far, right? We have, of course, Haaland on top, right? 46 points. But if we stride down here a bit, you can see this is basically starting now to be dominated by defensive players. I wouldn't say that's something new, but it is quite... you can see it. Senesi, 4.8, 37 points. Gueye, 4.7, 36 points. We have the Arsenal defenders. That's maybe not so surprising. But if you scroll down here, of course, Caicedo, he has a couple of goals too, 5.6. We have Burn, Livramento, we have Lacroix, Mitchell. And yeah, you can scroll down all the way here, and you can see like this pattern that these defenders or these DefCon players are getting a lot of value from their pricing. And I think this is something I want to dive a bit more into. So for this, if you watched my previous video, you know I was talking about making a couple of transfers this week. The transfers I was lining up to by using the AI agent was to remove Gakpo and Paqueta and bring in... who did I want to bring in? I think it was Ndiaye and Rangers. I think Rangers is very good. And it's so cheap, like 5.6. He's great value, right? So this was kind of my original idea here, one of my suggestions, but I've been looking a bit more into DefCon, and I actually think, to be honest, don't mind this. I want to compare to see, right, Tarkowski or Ndiaye. I think actually Tarkowski could be a better pick here, but I want to ask the AI agent and kind of look a bit more deeper into the data here. So we're gonna read the DefCon documentation. This is just some documentation. What is DefCon, right? What it is, right? So you can see what is DefCon, because this is a new rule. And we want to just say in the complete database, find Tarkowski and Ndiaye. Also find them using the FPL MCP server and make a comprehensive analysis comparing the two players. So I'm just going to run this, and I'm going to take you back when we have our analysis, and we're going to look a bit more into, should we pick Ndiaye? That's $1 million and more expensive, and Tarkowski. And I have some ideas around how we can set up a team by kind of exploiting these DefCon players. Okay, so you can see the analysis we get back here is that they are pretty even, right? The points are 26 for Tarkowski, 28 for Ndiaye. And the points per game are pretty much even. I think Ndiaye has a bit more per minute because he hasn't played all the minutes. But they're still pretty looking strong, both of them, I would say. The big difference is the 1 million price point, right? So you could in theory save $1 million of going for Tarkowski here. And you can see consistently earning 2 points per match, hitting the 10 plus CBIT. That's like clearance, block, interceptions, tackles, I think. And Ndiaye is... the very strong thing about Ndiaye is that he's a penalty taker. At least it looks like it is. And he also is very good at DefCon. So he's a very good option too, I think. And yeah, attacking threat is pretty good for Ndiaye too, I think. But we know Tarkowski can do something on like attack or corners, right? So he is outperforming his expected goals a bit, Ndiaye, but with the penalty and stuff, I think he's a good option. But I wanted to kind of follow up here. let's say my plan was to do like a 4 at the back formation, and we try to look into how we can kind of exploit this. I think this is the wrong pricing for players, for defenders and midfielders that has this DefCon potential, and build like a polarized team that we focus on like only high premium attackers. I'm gonna show you an example of this later, and value DefCon players. So we skip the middle value, right, from 6 to 8, right? So we just skip that bracket. Can you evaluate this strategy? Look at the data in out and search up my team and bring back a rating for the strategy from our current team, so team card. So I'm just gonna run this, but while we wait for that, let me show you kind of an example of this kind of type of team we could end up with. So this is just an example, right? There are many ways to this. You can see we still have 0.5 in the bank, right? But we could line up like Raya, we could do Senesi, Tarkowski, Anderson, Richards, and then we can do something like Palmer, Bruno, and Rangers. We can also do like Caicedo at the middle, and we can have like Pedro, Haaland, and Isaac on top, right? Let's say Isaac gets the first starting position, as I guess he will. We could do like a lineup of Pedro, Haaland, Isaac, Bruno, Palmer, Rangers, Caicedo, something like this. And trying just to play these players that I will expect we will get a lot of points from. There are other options too, like I have a pretty expensive goalkeeper here, we can change out him and stuff like. I'm just curious if this is gonna be something viable, and it's definitely something I'm gonna look into. That's why I kind of want to start leaning into this a bit after looking at the numbers here. So you can see we get our final rating here, 8.5 out of 10. So let's take a look at kind of the 4 at the back DefCon polarized analysis here. I don't know exactly what this is. This is just a suggestion of a team, right? So we can do Mukiele, he's a 4.0. He has incredible value here, high DefCon. We can do Raya, Dubravka. Shabola, he's also been doing good. So we can have a 4 at the back of Senesi, Anderson. And then we can do Bruno, Caicedo, Semenyo, and Garner. He's also pretty good. And yeah, it doesn't really matter too much, but you kind of get the idea here too. And the DefCon floor and everything here, you can read this if you want to. But let's go down to this recommended implement strategy. Approach is a significant superior to your current 5-5-3 setup. Fundamental change the value expectation, cheap defenders providing consistent 2-point bonuses while freeing up cash for premium attackers is a massive strategic advantage. So this is what I kind of want to look at and see if there could be something here. And what I like about this is it doesn't really matter the fixtures too much. It matters a bit, right, when it comes to clean sheets. But let's say this game. Let's say Richards is facing Liverpool this week. Palace is probably gonna sit back a bit, and he's gonna get a lot of chances to rack up these DefCon points, right? It's a bit more challenging in games, for example, for let's say City this week. Let's say you have Guardiola, right? They're always gonna be on the attack, and there are not a lot of chances to get them. We can take Tarkowski this weekend. I don't know how offensive West Ham is going to be, but I would suggest that it's going to be more difficult for Tarkowski to rank up DefCon points this week than when they sit back against a better team, right? So Anderson away to Villa this week, I expect he's going to get DefCon. Just because they're probably going to sit back. There's going to be a lot of involvements in duels and stuff. And he's probably going to win most of them. And he's going to rack up these points pretty easy. So, for example, Caicedo, he's like, doesn't really matter too much there too. Because he's always running around in the midfield and chasing players down for interceptions. And he can get some offensive returns too. And the value is just insane, right? Same goes for like, for Garner, right? And all of these players. So, I'm definitely think I'm going to go this route. It's maybe not the meta yet, I know that. But I think I'm going to try it because after looking at the numbers, I think this could be an interesting route to go down. And we probably... let me reset this. We're probably gonna change up our strategy a bit. So that means I'm probably gonna sell Gakpo and Steve. We could of course keep him. Or maybe we should do... Maybe we should keep Steve and maybe... Should we... I don't want to kind of sell Calafiori now because of the fixtures for Arsenal. But if I could switch, I'd probably do Gabriel instead. But I think we want to do... Let's check out Palace's fixtures here. Yeah, they're not so good. They're good for DefCon. But I think we maybe want to do Lacroix out. And maybe we want to do... or I know we want to do Tarkowski in, right? So we can do something... Yeah, it's probably not that high. Something like this. And then we're going to do Rangers. That leaves a lot of money in the bank for us. But I think we can use that. So we have 2 million and we can start kind of turning our team into that. So maybe next week we kind of free up some transfers here for... Maybe if we bring in someone like Paqueta, we can start saving up for like Palmer or something, but let's see. So yeah, that is kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to ask one more question. So looking at the advanced stats so far this season, what type of positions of players are dominating the data, bringing most value to FPL? Use the FPL MCP and read the database. What does this mean for our team? Think hard. So let's see if it kind of agrees with my early impression of DefCon and how kind of this changes the way we should probably set up our team. I'm not sure yet. It's of course too early, but I want to kind of catch the trend before it happens, right? Okay, so you can see kind of the big picture, strategic revolution based on data. We are kind of looking at the DefCon mid-value strategy here. I'm kind of leaning more like the DefCon cheap value or like great value plus the premium. I think that could be more interesting, but we need some more data, I think. But you can see it's kind of leaning into picking up more defenders here. And yeah, it's a bit all over the place here, but yeah, this was a clean context window too, so I didn't like... This is just based on this screenshot, right? Because if we look at this, you can see how many defenders are the top scorers so far, right? And it just sticks out. And that's what I've been seeing too. So this is just a confirmation of that, I guess. But yeah, I think this is the way we're gonna try for going forward. So it's a bit of like a meta breaker. Like I saw some other videos, people are kind of leaning a bit more into doing still the 3-4-3. But I think I'm gonna kind of switch it up a bit and we're gonna do a 4 at the back going forward, right? So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting just to see how that turns out. So it's not like a short-term thing, it's more like a long-term play, because like 2 extra points doesn't really get you so far for 1 round. But like 10 rounds, it could be huge, right? So I think that's going to be an interesting strategy, but we can pivot if we have to, right? Holland's yellow flag, right? I saw that. That was a bit strange. But it's probably going to be fine, right? And we're probably going to do the triple captain. But you can come back on Friday for that video if you want to. So I hope you enjoyed this, yeah, kind of brainstorming around DefCon. And I think it's going to be really interesting to follow the data here to kind of see where we end up. Yeah, and I just had a quick look at the previous season. So Tarkowski ended up on 44 extra points last season and Caicedo with 42 if you did the backtracking calculations, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if that holds up this season. They should, if they play the same amount of minutes, they should end up somewhere around here. And that will put them around 140 something, maybe points. And that's really good for like 5 million, right? So yeah, that is the idea. And I think it's going to be interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you again on Friday.